Hello, we are reporting from downtown Fort Pierce, and we are going to interview people based on the bias of hiring and criminal activities and criminal records. We're going to see some people's opinions and viewpoints and ask some questions to get down to this.
Hello, we're here with our first person for an interview. I have just a quick question for you, or 3 quick questions for you. Do you think people should be judged based on mental health or criminal record when considering job applications, and why?
I feel like they really shouldn't. It depends, like, if they really turn their life around. But,
Yeah.
like, if they keep doing it over and over again, I feel like then it should be a problem.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Have you ever been prejudged while being hiring for a job, or have you experienced any inequalities?
No, not really.
No?
No.
Okay. And how would you recommend employers make the workplace more acceptable to mentally ill individuals?
Maybe, like, have a program for them.
Okay.
Or, like,
What would be in that program?
I don't know. Or make, like, the workplace more, like, you know, more friendly.
Okay.
And, like, I don't know, just, like, maybe, like, a weekend thing.
Okay, that makes sense. All right. Thank you for your time.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Hello, I'm here in downtown Fort Pierce interviewing my mom. Okay, so I have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Do you think people should be judged based on mental health and criminal records when considering job applications?
Yes.
Okay, why?
Well, I think your past history is a good representation of what your future history might be.
Why do you think that?
Why do I think that? Well, I think maybe in fairness people could potentially have a second chance, but I think your actions really speak louder than your words. So,
Have you ever been prejudged while hiring for a job, or have you experienced any inequalities?
not that I'm aware of.
No. How would you recommend employers make the workplace more acceptable to mentally ill individuals?
I think that's an interesting question. I think everyone probably deserves the opportunity to find success in the workplace.
Right.
But I think we also have to make sure that we're in a safe environment. So I think probably having good job coaching would be really critical for someone who maybe
How do you think they would go along with that job description? What do you think the actions that they should put that in place?
I think maybe a job coach would give encouragement, but also healthy criticism of how to improve, or maybe be able to break down the steps of the job to support someone.
Okay. Well, thank you. That is all. Signing off.
Hi, thank you for taking the time to speak with me today. I also have 2 quick questions.
Sure.
First, what do you think would help reduce discrimination against people with mental health conditions or criminal backgrounds?
What would help people with mental health issues, to prevent some of the discrimination? Honestly, I think it is a lack of education for the public. And quite honestly, I don't even know whose responsibility it is anymore to provide the public with information, but the people that have mental health issues are misunderstood. Most of the time, people, because of their behavior, will automatically say, "Oh, drugs, this, that, whatever," and it's not usually a drug issue. Or it is a drug issue because they're self-medicating because the state of Florida does not have state facilities for them to go to. So they're homeless, they're untreated, and then we, the public, are not aware of the situation. And so we judge them. So very harshly.
And what would you think about with the criminal backgrounds?
With criminal backgrounds, again, for people that have mental health issues, again, I don't think the law has even caught up to that. For instance, when I go to the jail, I have seen the same gentleman come in. He has dementia. So I don't think he remembers that he has been trespassed from a certain store here in town, but he's what we call, unfortunately, a frequent flyer, because he goes back to that same store over and over again. And every time he does, he goes back and he does 30 days of jail time for trespassing. And I truly don't think it's I don't think it's intentional. I think it's because the law hasn't caught up with what he has. So when we do the investigation, we don't take that into consideration. If he doesn't have family, the state doesn't have some place to send him, we just look and we say, okay, yep, we know it's a problem, but he's going back to jail. So we treat him as if it's an intentional thing, instead of doing the work to see if there's someplace else he could go or this or that. That would be better serving to treat him, as well as take whatever issue that store has away, so we don't have that criminal experience as well.
How important do you think employment is for someone trying to rebuild a life after incarceration or mental health struggles?
I think it is vital. One, I think we are creatures of habit, so we need to have something to do. You see that even with people that are they retire because they've reached that age or they've gotten enough money to be able to do that, but then they get bored very quickly. And so then all of a sudden you start to see them at a bar every day because they have nothing else to do. So when people come out of jail or come out of wherever they've been because they have mental health issues, I think they need that structure, as well as they obviously need the income to be able to take care of themselves. Otherwise, they're going to end up right back to wherever it is they came from. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you. Really appreciate your time and your insight.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Okay, viewers, you heard it here first from the people of Fort Pierce. Yeah.
We had some good interviews, some not so nice, but we had a lot of different perspectives.
Thank you for listening to our videos, our college.